Well, guys, we have had one heck of a winter so far. It went from pretty warm temperatures with really no snow to Arctic conditions. We're talking minus 16. A lot of homes and businesses got ruined. People have been getting hurt from car accidents and slipping on ice. So today I'm going to go through how to protect yourself, how to protect your home and your car when you have Arctic conditions in Idaho. Hey, welcome to another episode of Living Life in North Idaho. My name is Trent, and on this channel, we talk about what it's like living, eating, working, playing, and buying real estate here in Idaho. If that's of interest to you, make sure you tap the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so every time I come out with a new video, you're getting notified. And guys, I'm serious when I say this. Every single day, I have people just like you who've been watching these videos, and they're serious about getting moved to Idaho, or they just need a little bit more information about what it's like living here, and we absolutely love it. So if this is you, feel free to reach out at the phone number or email address listed below. Day, nights, weekends, it does not matter. We love helping people get moved to this awesome place. All right, so let's dive into this video. Now, I've done videos on how to survive winter and how to keep yourself sane during winter, but this one is about how to protect yourself and your property because this year has been really, really bad. I've talked a lot about a place called Proxia. It's where I go and do my sauna and ice baths that help keep me sane during the wintertime. Well, it's completely destroyed. A pipe above them in the floor above popped. It burst because of the cold, and unfortunately, everything is ruined. They're going to have to either rebuild or find a new location, and that made me realize, man, this is really serious. This stuff has got to be taken seriously, and for the most part, it's not that hard to avoid if you just know what to look out for and what to do. So put all the information I know. I even did some research to make sure that people understand that there are ways to protect yourself, your body, your car, your house from these really bad things happening when there's a cold weather snap. So I hope that you get something out of this video. And if you do, please leave a comment in the comment section letting me know what you found to be helpful. And if you know of some things that I missed, please add them in there. So the first thing I want to talk about is the home. So your biggest investment, right? This is where you come home to feel safe, to feel protected, to be with your family and make memories. And there's nothing worse than waking up to find out that you can't live in your home anymore because something happened, got destroyed, the HVAC went out. It creates a nightmare very, very quickly. So the first thing we need to look at is your insulation. Now, every home has insulation pretty much. I mean, maybe some of the pre-World War II homes, they have pretty thin insulation, but any modern home is going to have a decent amount of insulation. But oftentimes it's not enough, and you won't know that until something bad really happens. So my first suggestion is you either go to the hardware store or on Amazon. I'll provide links in the description. Get a temperature gauge laser and go around your house and measure, point it into corners, point it into areas where you think pipes might be. And if you see a huge temperature fluctuation in that spot, you know that you have a gap in your insulation and you need to get that taken care of. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more, and this could come in handy for other things like hunting or night vision, but Flare makes an adapter for cell phones that you can tie in, and it will make your camera on your phone be a thermal camera. So you can literally walk around viewing things in your house and see where there are temperature differentiations, where there's fluctuations in the temperature. You don't want those. It's probably gonna be fine. Most winters, it's gonna be fine. It's just in these really bad cold snaps where you get to minus 16 or minus 30 when the wind chill, you're gonna have problems. So obviously you're gonna spend a little bit more on the camera, but it can be helpful. And in order to take care of the insulation, sometimes you can do it yourself. There's ways that you can pop a hole in a wall and start filling it, blowing in insulation, especially up in your attic. That's easier, but most of the time you're probably going to want to call a local outfit to come in and add insulation. It's also much more difficult to do in the wintertime, so something that you definitely want to be looking at in the off season. Plus, you're more than likely going to get a deal because right now everybody's going to be looking to get it done. So check the insulation in your home. And also, if you have like a crawl space or you have water pipes running up in the attic, go and check those out. Don't be afraid. I mean, you just got to do a little research on YouTube. They'll show you what you need to do to not hurt yourself or fall through your ceiling. But if there are water pipes that are not well insulated, it doesn't take much to get some insulation, wrap it around, and make sure that those pipes are insulated. The other aspect of insulation is your faucets outside. Now, again, most of the time you're going to be fine, but they make these really cheap little foam caps. Here, I'll have a picture or a video up here where you just tie it on. It takes 2 seconds. You put it over your faucet, and that makes sure that you're not going to burst a pipe when it gets really cold. They're like $3 or $5. You can order them on Amazon, but that's one really simple way to make sure that your pipes going outside do not freeze and cause a world of problems. And even if you do all of that, sometimes there's just some things that you can't see that you did not find, and flooding might happen. The worst part of flooding is not that you get some water in your house, it's when you don't catch it and it fills the floor and it just leaks for hours. So I was actually in the low voltage alarm industry, and they make sensors. They make water sensors and temperature sensors that can tie in. You don't necessarily want it where it just makes noise. Those are going to be the cheapest. But if you can tie it in with a monitored security system, that is going to be your best bet. So if you are on vacation or it happens at 12 o'clock at night, you're not going to find out about it until 6 in the morning. This will alert a monitoring station. They will call you. They will let you know so you can shut your water off. And usually you can catch it so quickly that you don't have to call in a restoration business to come tear out flooring and make you live in a hotel for 3 months like I had to do a few years back. So there's different systems out there. Again, I will have a link in the description. I think it's better to use local companies, but it is cheaper, of course, to find a big corporation to go through. Just know that it's probably not going to be as high of quality. Next thing to look at is your roof. We often don't get so much snow that you have to worry about your roof collapsing, but it absolutely can happen, especially if we get a heavy snowfall, warms up, it turns into slush, and then it freezes again and snows on top of that. You have a tremendous amount of weight on your roof, and you want to get that taken care of. There's handymen and painters and all kinds of contractors that during the winter, they're slow and they will come off and clear the snow off of your roof. Like I said, though, I mean, just a standard snow, really don't need to worry about it. But if there is weather predicting really heavy snowfall and freezing temperatures, definitely something you want to look at. But the more common issue that you might not hear about very often, they're called ice dams. This is where it's melting and you're getting icicles and the snow and ice start to curl and it starts to go under and lift up on the roof, causing water to flow back into the house. These are very problematic. They can destroy your house very quickly. It's gonna be an insurance claim. So the best thing to do is go around your house, look for ice dams that are building up and go and break them off. Get a stick, get a pole, call somebody, get them broken off so that way you don't have to worry about having to call insurance. And you absolutely want to be getting up in your attic or just walking around with your temperature sensor and seeing if there are leaks happening. This is usually the time that they're going to happen, especially if you have an older roof that's missing some shingles, the ice, the cold weather. It's just going to cause more problems and you're going to end up getting leaks. And like we talked about in previous videos, mold can be a serious issue. So if you're not catching these leaks, you might find later in the spring or summer, you're having some immune system issues, dry eyes, cough. These are issues with mold and you can definitely prevent them by checking your roof, checking your attic, make sure you're not having leaks right now. Last thing to be looking at is your doors and windows. This is the time that you're going to find out that they're failing. Now, one issue you want to look out for is ice that's building up around your window. If you have icicles building up, that means that they are leaking, that there is heat getting out, it's melting the snow, and it's creating an icicle, which can and does damage your siding, which will damage your house. Insurance claim, we want to avoid those. So go around, check your windows, use the sensor you bought to see if there is temperature fluctuations and get those fixed right away. You also want to look outside and you want to make sure that it's sealed with caulk all the way around so that if you do have any ice building up, water is not going to get inside there and cause mold and all kinds of problems. Now, an issue that most people do not think about, and it's something that honestly I wasn't thinking about much until I'm like, hey, I need to make a video on this topic. Windows and doors can freeze shut during this time. I actually just recently heard my garage door struggle to open up because it had water that had frozen and it was stuck on the bottom. So not only can you blow out your garage door opener, but you can create a situation where all of a sudden you are stuck. You can't get out. You can't lift that garage door. So my suggestion to that is make sure that you are cleaning up any of the water. And again, with windows and doors, if those get stuck because they're frozen, imagine this. Your HVAC went bad. It caused a fire and you need to get outside and your window is frozen shut. That is a bad, bad situation that not a lot of people think about. But an easy fix is to go and take some grease, just a light coating of grease, and coat the seal on your window where it goes in to close. That should prevent any of the water or ice building up. It also should help lubricate it so that it's easier to open. And in the summer, you just go and wipe it and get it off of there so that you're not touching it when you do open the window to let fresh air in, but definitely something you want to be thinking about. And if you have a door, a man door that is leaking, they sell these little foam devices. It's just a piece of fabric with two pieces of foam that go on both sides, but it can create a seal. And that way you don't have air that is going through and causing you energy loss and your HVAC bill to go up. You can also check the weather stripping. Now, I'm not very good with weather stripping. I always seem to screw it up, but there's lots of people, lots of handymen around. You give them a call, you post it on Facebook looking for somebody will come out and install that on the cheap. So that's it for the doors and windows. You just definitely want to be walking around your house. Monitor your property to make sure you're not finding damage that is happening. And if you are, get it taken care of right away. You do not want to wait until more damage occurs. And again, on the monitored alarm system, a lot of people only think about those for theft issues, and we don't have a ton of theft up here, but they can do so much more than that. Carbon monoxide, smoke detectors, water sensors, all of these things that can just wreck your day when you come home and find out that there has been a problem. So definitely recommend looking into those. Again, I'll provide a link in the description. Next, let's talk about your vehicle. When weather like this hits, it is extremely hard on your vehicle. And this is when you're gonna find out that you needed to replace that battery. So around here, you go to a Les Schwab, you go to O'Reilly's Auto Parts, they will do a free battery test and will let you know if your battery is about to die. Because like mine, my truck was starting right up, no problems at all. But after a battery test, and I went to 2 different places, make sure I'm not getting scammed, but they told me, yeah, your battery is pretty low on life. You probably have a couple more months. And I said, just replace it now. I don't want to be caught in a situation where I can't start my truck. That is a huge pain in the butt. Also with tires, your tire, if you're just putting air in your tires, you're going to have huge fluctuations of air pressure. And that is going to give you worse gas mileage. It's going to be hard on your tires if they get too low. It can cause creases, premature cracking. So one thing that can be really helpful is filling them with nitrogen. They do this at Costco. I don't know if any other places, I think other places offer it, but it's just standard with Costco. That will prevent your tires from fluctuating so much because with air, it can fluctuate 10, 12 PSI. Nitrogen, typically I see it between 5 and 6 PSI, which once you get driving, it just goes right back up. So that's not a big deal, but also making sure you do have the right tires. We actually had some road closures recently because we had snow, it melted, it turned to ice, and then you get snow on top of that. Now you can't see it and it's ultra slick. This is not a good way to go. Make sure you get the right tires on your car. Now, an issue that I recently dealt with, and I was kind of flabbergasted when I was dealing with it, but I did solve the problem. the doors on my car froze. I could not open the passenger door. And so I climbed inside, I opened the door. Well, I got it open, now it won't shut. I literally took like a blowtorch. I didn't hurt anything, but I was like trying to heat it up. Would not work. I had to take my daughter in my wife's car and I was stuck there going, what do I do here? What I found out that worked pretty well is to start my car and blast the heat for a good 20 minutes. That heated up the components on the inside. That's one way to fix it. They also make products that you can spray inside of like the locks to help release it. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it's just the components are stuck together. So you need to plan ahead. If you need to go somewhere, make sure you're going out to your car early and running it and keeping it warm so that it can thaw out and you're not gonna have the issues that I did. Now, along those lines, auto start or remote start, super important up here. I will not have a vehicle that does not have auto start anymore. Super helpful. And plus it's really nice to be able to get in your vehicle and have it be warm, because jumping in your vehicle, turning it on and driving somewhere when it's minus degrees outside is really, really hard on your vehicle. You don't want to be doing that. You want to let it warm up. Remote start makes it that much easier. And lastly, it is dangerous in these conditions when you're out driving around, especially if you're on a back road. Have an extra set of clothes, jacket, socks, have extra shoes, have gloves, have hats, have water, just in case. I know it sounds pretty extreme, but it's extreme weather. So plan on having problems so that way when they do happen, you're not stuck and feeling like an idiot that you didn't listen. Lastly, let's talk about how to protect your body. In this kind of weather, hypothermia can set in very, very rapidly. So it's always a good idea to get some merino wool undergarments. I know the old school, what were they called? Long johns. They were called long johns. I haven't even seen those in a while. Merino wool, a little bit pricey, but I'll tell you what, it works awesome because it is cool when you are warm and it is warm when you are cool. So you can go in and out of buildings and not sit there and have to strip off all your clothes because you're sweating. And it really is nice for conditions like this. You're able to be outside longer and not be sitting there going, when can we get inside? Buy a nice set of gloves. They make heated vests. Have a hat. I mean, just make sure that you're being safe when you're out there. And if you're like me and you have a hard time acclimating to the weather, to the cold weather, you're gonna think I'm crazy here, but cold showers, taking cold showers 30 seconds and just breathing through that shock, that will actually force your body to start to adapt to the cold weather, making it much more comfortable outside. Now, if you want to go extreme with it, you go take a little dip in the lake. That's not for everybody, but I'll tell you what, it sure pulls you out of the cabin fever you might get with the gray weather and being stuck indoors. And it also helps boost your immune system, so something to consider. But up here, when the weather gets cold, if you have injuries like me, you're gonna be feeling joint pain, you're gonna be feeling some muscle aches. Don't just pop Tylenol, don't just pop ibuprofen. Yes, it can help, but what's better is drink lots of water, do stretching, stay away from inflammatory foods. When you can, go and hit the sauna. So sad about heat Proxia. I really hope that they can get it opened again soon because, yeah, I think this might be a little bit of a long winter. You're also going to experience chapped lips and chapped skin, cracks in your skin. So make sure that you have chapstick and you're using plenty of lotion, especially if it's a windy day. If you're outside for any time, you're going to go inside and maybe a couple hours later, you're going to go, my face, I get sunburned?
Right here. Not here or here so much, but right here.
Oh, that's wind chill burn. It's just the cold air blasting against your face and it can actually burn your skin. So using some lotion, having a little scarf or something to cover your face can be very helpful. Now, since you are going to have your HVAC system on a lot, you are going to dry out your air, which is gonna dry out your sinuses, which means you don't have the mucus to protect yourself from the pathogens that are floating around. So you're gonna be getting sick. I recommend getting a humidifier. You don't have to have them throughout the house. They do make whole home humidifiers. They work okay. I like the ones in my bedroom because that's where I'm sleeping. That's where I'm gonna be breathing the most. So a humidifier there is gonna be really, really helpful. Just have that thing blasting. Put some essential oils in there. Lavender will help you sleep. It will smell good, and you're not going to get sick as much. And lastly, again, I talk about this a lot, but we're not going to have a ton of sun during this time of year. So make sure you're getting plenty of vitamin D, and talk to your doctor. Ask him during a blood test, can you please check my vitamin D levels? You don't want to overdo it. It can make you sick, but it's way worse if you are under. So make sure you get your vitamin D. Now, I just want to say, after hearing all of that, you might be going, oh, this sounds awful. Well, this is Idaho. This is what it's like living in Idaho, and you either love it or you hate it. It helps keep some of the weaker people out here that just want life to just be good and no challenges. That's not where we live. I mean, there's parts of Idaho that are like that. But here, yes, you can have some challenging winters, but if you just learn the techniques, learn the skills, and apply them, it'll be totally fine, and you can have a lot of fun. During winter, it's a beautiful, great place to live during the wintertime. Just, again, you got to know what you're doing. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you found these helpful or if there's anything that I missed. If you are serious about getting moved here, reach out day, it's weekends, it doesn't matter. Until the next one, I will see you later.